Om. 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 Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Ramo Rajamani Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Bihata Nishacharachamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha. रामान्नास्ति परायणं परतरं रामस्य दासोऽस्म्यहम् रामे चित्तलयः सदा भवतु मे भो राम मामुद्धर समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः 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 ॐ श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः. Sixth and seventh mantra. Yattadadreshyam agrahyam agotram avarnam achakshushrotram tadapanipadam nityam vibhum sarvagatam susukshmam tadavyayam yadbhutayonim paripashyanti dhiraha यथोर्णनाभिसृजते गृह्णते च यथा पृथिव्याम् ओषधयः सम्भवन्ति यथा सतः पुरुषात् केशलोमानि तथा क्षरात् सम्भवति हविश्वम्. Sixth mantra gave different indicators of Akshara. The last indicator was Yad Bhuta Yonim. Akshara is that which is the origin of this whole universe, whole creation. One distinct feature in Upanishads and classical Vedanta is we cannot circumvent thinking about creation. Starting from Tattvabodha, whatever text of classical Vedanta we have, traditional Vedanta we have, all of them will have some discussion about creation. Not only Vedantic text, even if you read devotional text like Srimad Bhagavatam, 4 or 5 times the whole Srishti Prakriya is described. How did this creation come about? Now the question is, why do you even need to think about Srishti? It looks so technical. From this, that came, from that, another thing came. So many things to remember. But there are some very important points about why we should do Srishti Vichara, why we should think about creation. One thing is, when mind thinks about infinite, when mind thinks about a thing which is infinite, that process of thinking itself purifies it. Srishti is Ananta, Srishti is infinite. Mind naturally will get stuck with finite things. But when it does Srishti Vichara, it has one unique opportunity to think about something which is so vast, think about something which is so big. And when it does that, it realizes this whole creation is not randomly happening. It is run by a sentient entity, run by a sentient principle whom I call as Bhagavan. So Srishti Vichara becomes the premise, becomes the building block for Upasana. And most Upasanas which are mentioned in Upanishads, they are all about nature. So when he does Upasana on sun, chants Gayatri Mantra, his understanding is very clear. He is not meditating only on the gaseous ball of fire. He is meditating upon that Chaitanya, which is presiding over this matter. Meditating upon the truth along with conditioning is called as Upasana. The conditioning is so pure because it belongs to Prakriti, belongs to nature. Holding on to that, he is able to think about the truth. So Srishti Vichara becomes the foundation for Upasana. Whenever Bhagwan is pointed out as Vishwarupa, that brings more closeness because he has already thought about how Bhagwan is Vishwarupa. He says the one truth alone has become many. One truth alone is becoming as creation. That creation is my Bhagavan. So his Upasana deepens when he does Srishti Vichara, when he starts thinking about creation. Another thing what happens is, he realizes how small he is in front of this creation. Otherwise, the abhiman of this jiva is such, it will think Srishti is nothing and jiva alone is everything. But if he sincerely does Srishti Vichara, he realizes this abhimana is nothing as far as samashti is concerned. And in that samashti, he seeks surrender. In that samashti, he seeks sharanagati. That is another beauty of doing Srishti Vichara. In particular, when we think about Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha, the total mind which is there, which has emerged from the same consciousness. He says, why am I getting stuck with only one mind? Isn't there a total mind which is taking care of everybody? If it is taking care of creation, why exclude me? Vatula kim tava nasti niyanta. Kate kanta dhanagata chinta. In Bhajagovindam Shankaracharya said, if somebody excessively worries about anything, he should remind himself, do I not have a father who is taking care of me? Niyanta means the one who is taking care. A protector who is not taking care of few things in this creation, but he runs the whole creation. the cosmic intelligence. Small thing, if you have to plan, as far as Jiva is concerned, so many things you have to think about. Imagine the intelligence of that person who is planning and running whole creation. To that intelligence, the sadhaka says, I seek surrender. Because he has done vichara, his faith is strengthened with his conviction now that there is something called as Hiranyagarbha in which I can seek surrender. Once Shivaji Maharaj, there is a story where he feels little bit of pride in his heart, saying that I am taking care of all these people in my kingdom. This thought comes in his mind. And he must have said something which his guru notices. He says, this weekend, we are going to Sajjangad. The fort that we have, both of us will hike. On the way, he sees one stone, one small stone, and it was rainy season. Rainy season, that area is very beautiful. Full lush green. The fort walls also become green. Very nice sight. So he sees one small stone which is covering a puddle of water. Samarth Ramdas Ji with his guru's name was Samarth Ramdas Ji, Shivaji Maharaj's guru. He removes that stone and he says, who is feeding this frog which is there in this puddle of water? This is also in your kingdom. Did you even know that there is a frog living there, happily getting sustained, getting food? The main message, Shivaji Maharaj says, I got it. He says, let us go back now. We don't need to go forward. Means our thinking sometimes is only with human beings. Shivaji Maharaj thought, I am taking care of everybody, taking care of human beings. That also is coming from Bhagwan only, because only if earth gives that blessing, then only there is dhanya. In Bhagavatam, the story of Prithu Maharaj, it is said, wherever there is dharma, there only the resources of Mother Earth becomes available. But the main point there is sadhaka realizes there is some cosmic intelligence, some higher power running this creation. To that power, he seeks Sharanagati. In that power, he seeks Sharanagati. So that is the second reason why we should think about Srishti. Because we have to get an altar and deepen our surrender to that altar. What was the first reason? When mind thinks about infinity, that process of thinking itself is purification. While we are thinking about creation, that thought of thinking itself gives Chitta Shuddhi. Whenever mind gets stuck with finite things, that is called as impure mind. Whenever it gets stuck with Ragadvesha, that is called as impure mind. That is called as the impurity in the mind. Because mind, it is up to us how we want to make it. We cannot label a mind as pure or impure. What that mind is doing, based on that, it gets the title. So if it gets stuck with Ragadvesha, that is the impurity in the mind. But if it is able to think about larger things, creation, then it is, that process itself is giving it Chitta Shuddhi. And second one is, it becomes an anchor for Upasana. That Bhagwan whom I understood in one form, now I understand his power. I understand his glory. In that power, I seek surrender. In that samashti, Vyashti seeks Sharanagati. That is the second. The last one is from Vedanta standpoint. See, when we do vichara, nothing in this creation, nothing as far as we are concerned, should be left unthought of. When somebody says, I want to get moksha, and he does only Tvam-pada vichara. I am the witness of thoughts, I am the witness of thoughts. How long can he do that? The moment he gets up from that seat of meditation, what will he have to encounter? the world. You say, Arey, world, I didn't think. So in his vichara, if he does not think about creation, his moksha will be limited to a particular place, a particular time. That only when I'm sitting in meditation, I'm liberated. The moment I get up, this world is binding me again. That is why Shristi Vichara is done, to get conviction about Jagat Mithyatva. That what I call as Jagat is an appearance in consciousness. It is not independently appearing outside. This point, if somebody understands, it will open up many unique facets about our own glory. This infinite creation which is appearing, which is understood through this vichara, what is this understanding? Where is this creation appearing? Is it appearing outside or in Chaitanya? He said it appears in Chaitanya. That Chaitanya I am. That Chaitanya I am. Take specific words. It will open up more things. Where is Brahmaloka appearing? Brahmaloka is appearing in Chaitanya. And that Chaitanya I am. So where is Brahmaloka appearing? He says Brahmaloka is appearing in me. That is the Mahima of Shristi Vichara. If you don't connect that all lokas have emerged from Chaitanya, you will always think Brahmaloka is somewhere. You will always think all lokas which are there, they are somewhere outside. What Vedanta wants to emphasize, they are all appearing in that same Chaitanya. Just like this loka is appearing in Chaitanya, you take any loka, it is appearing in same Chaitanya. Whatever loka we take, it is appearing in same Chaitanya. We should not say Brahma Loka Chaitanya is different, Prithvi Loka Chaitanya is different, and Patala Loka Chaitanya is different. It's same Chaitanya in which all lokas are appearing. The point is, unless we think about why we need to study about creation, we will not get Mahatva Buddhi. We will always feel it's an unimportant portion which we can skip very quickly. But if we appreciate what is the importance of studying about creation, then these mantras will guide us further in our sadhana. That is where this seventh mantra came. It's an elaboration on the indicator Yad Bhuta Yonim. That's why we went into that introduction. Why do we need to think about creation? Because seventh mantra and eighth mantra are going to talk about creation. By the way, in Srimad Bhagavatam, our Shukdev Ji Maharaj asks Parikshit Ji, Parikshit Ji, you have 7 days to live. Why are you asking about creation? Why are you asking about what came after what? He says, I'm not asking just to satisfy my intellectual quest. Thinking about creation reminds me of God. Otherwise, mind goes in something in creation. So he says, if I can think about creation, my mind will stay in Bhagwan. That is why I want to know about creation. So whenever creation is there, there has to be a creator. There has to be material of creation and some instrument by which he creates. The sentient cause, the intelligent cause, the efficient cause, which brings about that creation, is called as Nimitta Karanam. We saw all these points in the last class. I'm just recapping. The intelligent cause, sentient cause, or efficient cause, 3 different names. That is called as Nimitta Karanam. So the potter who is making the potter is called as Nimitta Karanam. Then the second one is the material with which he makes. Material with which he makes, that material enters the cause and sustains the cause. Enters the effect and sustains the effect. The material enters the effect and sustains the effect. That is called as Upadana Karanam. Upadana Karanam, the material cause. And the instrument which is used to make that effect is called as Karana Karanam. Karana Karanam or instrumental cause. So in the case of pot example, the potter is Nimitta Karanam. He is the one who gives shape to that form. He is the one who plans that particular effect. So that is Nimitta Karanam. The clay is called as Upadana Karanam, the material cause. And the wheel and the stick that he is using, that is called as Karana Karanam, instrumental cause. Now the Purvapaksha says, in Advaita Vedanta, if you say Brahman is non-dual, then creation itself is not possible. Rather, consciousness cannot be the origin of creation. Chaitanya cannot be origin of creation. Several objections, several schools of thoughts have raised. Because there are different ways in which people have thought about creation. Some people said, this consciousness is Nimitta Karana. It is the intelligent cause. But it is not material cause. Material cause is some matter. Matter is independent, consciousness is independent. With this combination, creation came about. But fundamental difference in Vedanta is, it says the material cause for creation is also consciousness. Upadana Karanam, material cause, is also consciousness. Shiva Mahimana Stotram, there was a verse. Kimihah kim kayah sakhalu kimupayas tribhuvanam. Kimadharo dhata srujati kimupadanam iticha. When this person is asking objections, he says, with what desire did God create? If you say God is the material cause and efficient cause, he says to create something you need to have desire. You can have desire of that thing which you don't have. So that means what? God is becoming finite. He's entertaining desire about creation. He says that is how creation is not possible. With what body did God create this universe? If you say Bhagwan created this universe, what was his sharira? Where did that material come from? Was it part of creation or is it different from creation? With what instrument did he create? If you want to create cement concrete, when they mix it, you see how big that mixer is. Probably 10 times more than the amount of concrete. So imagine this whole universe he has to create. What instrument must be there by which he created this universe? So like this, he is raising several objections. An answer is also given. But our Mundakopanishad Purvapaksha, he is also raising certain objections. His first objection is Nimitta Karanam, Upadana Karanam. Intelligent cause and material cause. There is no example that you find which says where you can see both being the same. You see the potter, who is the Nimitta Karanam, and you see the clay, which is Upadana Karanam. It is different from the potter. You take any other example, most places we will find Nimitta Karanam is different, Upadana Karanam is different. So he says, your Nimitta Karanam, Upadana Karanam cannot be the same. Along with that, he adds one more point. He says, without Karana, without instrument, no creation can come about. You need some instrument by which this creation is brought about. Without instrument, how can you bring about this creation? For that came the first example, Yatha Urnanabhihi Srujate Grunhate Cha. Just like a spider, Urnanabhihi means a spider, creates its web from its own body and at the same time eats it up. There are some spiders, they say, they create the web and they eat it up. Like that, from Akshara Tattva, from consciousness, this universe emerges and it is again dissolved back into same Akshara. Just like this web emerges from spider and goes back into the spider, like that universe emerges from Chaitanya and goes back into Akshara, pure consciousness. So how many points is answered with spider example? The nimitta karanam, intelligent cause, which is the spider, and the material cause is one and the same. Like that, he is saying in creation, consciousness is intelligent cause and it is also material cause. It is one and the same. And just like the spider creates a web without any instrument, without any karana, in the same way, Akshara projects this universe without any karana. Universe has come about from Akshara without need of any instrument. There is one more classical example to illustrate this point, that is of dream. Dream is another example where nimitta karana, upadana karana are the same. So in Shiva Mahimna Stotram commentary, it is said to answer that person, right, who asked, where is the instrument, where is this, where is that? He said, in your dream, you create so many things. And do you get a machine to create all the buildings in dream? And you lay out the roads and then you start walking there. Without instrument, we create in dream. In the same way, this universe is created in Chaitanya without instruments. Nimitta karanam, upadana karanam. Instrumental cause and material cause are one and the same. And the second one is, without instrument, effect is brought about. Then this Purva says, okay, you found one example, I will give it to you. But you see, in spider example, spider creates only web. You touch any part of that web, you will find only one cobweb, you will not find anything else. But he says, look at this creation. You touch different parts of creation, there is so much of variety. Just look at human beings. So much of variety as far as personality is concerned, their abilities are concerned. There is so much of variety. Even if you take 5 elements, there is a variety in the gunas of those 5 elements. What space can do that earth cannot do. Space can accommodate. No matter how hard earth tries, it has to take support of space only to accommodate. Fire is not water. So how can this diverse creation come about from one cause? You gave spider example, but your effect was not diverse. It had only one kind of effect. But universe is unlike that, creation is unlike that. There is so much of variety that we see. Then comes the second example, yatha pruthivyam oshadayah sambhavanti. Just like from one earth, different types of plants are possible. You have one tamarind plant, you have one chili plant, you have one lemon plant. Sugarcane also is there. Now, if you look at all of them, there is so much variety. You will not find all the varieties in earth. Earth is only one. But from one earth, you are seeing so much of variety. In the same way, from one akshara, this whole universe with so much of variety has emerged. Seeing the common in the uncommon. Seeing that one non-dual truth in the midst of all the diversity that is apparent to us. The same point Bhagavan said in 6th chapter, there will be different types of jivas, different types of people in our life. Suhrit, Mitra, Ari, Udasina, Madhyastha, Dvesha, Bandhu, Sadhu, Papi, 9 different types of people. Somebody is a friend, somebody is an enemy, somebody is a well-wisher. Somebody is a papi also, and somebody is a sadhu. But who excels amongst all of them? Samabuddhihi vishishyate. In the midst of all that diversity, his attention is on sama. His attention is on that non-dual truth. That person excels. But for that, he has to do this vichara. That whole Srishti, although it looks so diverse, diversity in people, diversity in elements of creation, he says, in spite of seeing that diversity, the origin is one and the same. So, Prithvi example is to show diversity or diverse kinds of effects, diverse effects can emerge from one cause. Variety of effects can emerge from one cause. Now he says, okay, this example also I give. Purvapaksha says, I have one more objection. You gave example of plants. All plants have emerged from the same earth. But all plants are sentient. You cannot say there is a stone which has emerged from earth. There is no emergence happening there. So he says, how can this effect have totally different nature than the cause? Effect should always have that nature of the cause. But in this case, you see this creation. You see this creation. Is it nitya or anitya? We say it is anitya, constantly modifying. And what did you say is the nature of Brahma? Tadavyayam, that which doesn't modify. So how come your effect is showing characteristics opposite to your cause? How come the effect is showing characteristics opposite to your cause? Whatever is there in the cause should show up in the effect. If oil is there in groundnut, you squeeze the groundnut, you will get oil. If I squeeze sand, you see the process of just squeezing doesn't give oil. Oil should be inherently there in that sand, then only it will come. Meaning what? Effects will show that thing which is there in the cause. Whatever is in the cause, same thing will show up in the effect. So he says, how come this creation which is there, it is anitya? And you say Brahma is nitya. This creation that I see, it is jada. It is inert. And you say Brahma is Chaitanya Swarupa. So how come this inert world emerged from consciousness? The effect is showing different characteristics than the cause. How did this happen? Then comes the third example. Yatha satah purushat keshalomani. Pay attention to every word. He says yatha satah purushat. Means from a living person, keshalomani. The hair emerges from a living person. And the effect is totally different from the cause. You can cut hair, no pain is felt. But any harm comes to body, we feel pain. So it's just like this inert hair and nails, they are growing from an inert and a living person. In the same way, it's possible that this whole universe has emerged from consciousness. Tatha aksharat sambhavati iha vishwam. In the same way, from that akshara tattva, this vishwa has emerged. This mantra is oft quoted to establish this point, how akshara is jagat karanam. How the consciousness is origin of creation. As I had mentioned before, Upanishad did not give examples also. Shankaracharya says in commentary, no example is needed. One example is sufficient. But so that we can understand the main point, Upanishad gives 3 examples. Each one having a specific objection. But the sadhana here is we should train our mind to think in this way. What comes in front of us is Jagat. But if we can do some vichara on top of it, this thought should come that this effect that I am seeing has emerged from Chaitanya. Wherever I see Jagat, I should say Jagat plus Chaitanya. There is no independent existence of Jagat anywhere. If Chaitanya word doesn't look too sweet, you can say, wherever I see Jagat, there I should see my Bhagavan. This Jagat is Upadhi of my Bhagavan. Both will always remain together. Upadhi and Upahita, they will always remain together. You will not find Upadhi somewhere, Upahita somewhere. Okay. Now we will see the Bhashya part. Same points, but in a different way. Which page number is it in the Gita Press book? 23. 23 page number. Seventh mantra. Seventh mantra. Everybody found? Yes? Okay. Bhutayoni aksharam iti uktam tat katham bhutayonitvam iti uchyate prasiddha drishtantaihi yatha loke prasiddham urnanabihi lutakitah kinchit karanantaram anapekshya स्वयमेव सृजते स्वशरीर अव्यतिरिक्तान् एव तन्तून् बहिः प्रसारयति पुनः तान् एव गृह्णते च गृह्णाति स्वात्मभावम् एव आपादयति यथा च पृथिव्याम् ओषधयः व्रीह्यादि स्थावरान्ताः इत्यर्थः. In the previous mantra it was said Yad Bhuta Yonim. So Bhuta Yoni Aksharam iti uktam tat katham. You said Akshara is the origin of creation. How is Akshara origin of creation? Bhuta Yonitvam iti uchyate. It is the origin of all bhutas. To elaborate or explain this point using Prasiddha Drishtanta. Prasiddha Drishtantaihi iti uchyate. The next mantra is going to elaborate this point, how Akshara is the origin of all bhuta. The meaning of the word bhuta means that which exists. That which exists, that is called as bhuta. So what all things bhuta will include? Will it include jiva? All jivas will be included. Will it include animals? Apply the same definition. Whatever exists is called as bhuta. It will include all animals. How about trees? Include trees. How about stones? It will also include inert things. Whatever is known as existent, whatever exists, that is called as bhuta. And what about consciousness? Consciousness is not that which exists. Consciousness is existence. There is a difference between existence and that which exists. So Akshara is existence, borrowing existence from which all these bhutas, they are sustained, they emerge, they are sustained, and they will again dissolve back. We should not put consciousness as one part of creation. If you say consciousness is bhuta, then it will become just like another object. Consciousness is existence, borrowing existence from which all bhutas come into being. Yatha loke prasiddham. Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, just like in this world, these examples are very popular. How do you understand that prasiddham? Prasiddham here doesn't mean people use it very frequently or everybody knows about these examples and the meaning of these examples. What it means here is this example is understood by everybody. It becomes siddha for a person who listens. One good quality of an example is it should connect with most people. That example should be understood by everybody. It should not talk about some unique thing somewhere. Sometimes if you give example of some scientific terms, black hole, now it might connect with few people, but everybody might not be familiar with what that example is. First, you have to explain the example and then show why you are using it as an example. But he says, Prasiddha Drishtanta is that which is easily understood by everybody. Spider, all of us know. Earth, all of us know. Hair and nail, everybody knows. So using those examples, Srishti Prakriya is pointed out. Urna Nabihi Luta Kitaha. Luta means the spider. Kitaha means insect. So what is Urna Nabhi? That which creates the web from its own Nabhi. It creates the web. And if you see the way it creates, it's a sight to watch. It is said that is one of the structures which has the most tensile strength. The spider web that it is creating, the spider web is something where you'll have to stretch it really long before it breaks. And the way it creates that shape, first it will put it on the other branch. It will put that one string, then it will create one triangle, then it will go on creating few more triangles, then it will start creating spirals. Having created it, goes and sits nicely. There has some insect will come and get stuck, then it will come and eat its dinner. And it has an ability to distinguish between whether insect has gotten stuck or a leaf has gotten stuck. In that web, what has gotten stuck, to know every time it will not come and check has dinner arrived. It knows when dinner has come and when it is some other foreign object coming. All of this is Bhagwan's vibhuti. How it has kept in that jiva to take care of itself. Nobody taught it how to create that web. It says Luta Kitaha Kinchit Karanantaram Anapeksha. Without taking the support of any other instrument, no Karana Karana, Swayam eva srujate. From its own self, it creates. Swa Sharira Avyatiriktan eva Tantun Bahihi Prasarayati. It throws the tantus, the thread outside, which is not different from itself. Means what? Upadana Karanam is also spider only. Material cause is also the spider. Intelligent cause is also the spider. Nimitta Karanam is also the spider. Punaha Taneva Grunhate. And after some time, they call it as replenishing silk supply. When the spider eats its own web, it is one way by which it replenishes its silk, the threads that it brings out. In the same way, this whole universe is projected from consciousness and it dissolves back into consciousness. Punaha tan eva grunhate cha grunhati swatma bhavam eva apadayati. Just like this spider web is coming out from spider and going back. Universe is emerging from Akshara and going back. Then the next one is earth example. Yatha cha pruthivyam oshadhayah. Just like from earth, pruthivyam, from earth, oshadhayah, different type of plants, they emerge. You know, the technical meaning of aushadhi, oshadhayah, means that plant which ends after giving fruit once. Technical meaning of aushadhi is only those plants which end after giving their first fruit. Phalapakantam oshadhayah. Phalapaka antam. Once the phala becomes ripened, that is the anta of that plant. Phalapakantam oshadhayah. Sometimes give example of banana. That will be considered as phalapakantam. But here it says don't take that meaning. That's why the next word is given. Vrihyadi sthavarantaha. Vrihi literally means barley. Or any grains, starting from these grains to all the trees. Whatever variety is seen, all of that has emerged from one earth. Vrihyadi sthavarantaha ityartaha. So from one cause, variety of effects can come about. From one cause, variety of effects can come about. Now the next second line. Swatma avyatirikta eva prabhavanti yatha cha satah vidyamanat jivatah purushat keshalomani keshascha lomani cha sambhavanti vilakshanani yatha ete drishtantaha tatha vilakshanam salakshanam cha nimintantara anapekshat yatokta lakshanat aksharat sambhavati samutpadyate iha samsaramandale vishvam samastam jagat aneka drishtanta upadanam tu sukhartha prabodhanartham swatma avyatirikta eva prabhavanti. All these effects which are rising, even the trees, etc., they are nothing but earth alone. Earth alone is appearing as trees. In that way, Chaitanya alone appears as Jagat. Consciousness alone appears as Jagat. Then the third objection which was there, how can Jagat, which is having so different nature, how can that Jagat emerge from Chaitanya? Yatha satah vidyamanat. Just like from an existing person, jivatah, one who is alive. Purushat keshalomani, from that Purusha, hair emerges. Keshascha lomani cha sambhavanti. Even though they are of a different nature, vilakshanani, still they are emerging from that particular cause. Hair has a different nature, person has different nature. Person is sentient, living, hair is inert. The effect is showing characteristics which are different from the cause. In the same way, this Jagat, which is Jada, has emerged from this cause, which is Chaitanya. Yatha satah purushat keshaloman. Yatha ete drishtantaha tatha vilakshanam salakshanam. Through these examples, vilakshanam means Jagat, consciousness which is totally different from Jagat, showing characteristics totally different from Jagat. That is shown. And salakshanam. Salakshanam means Jiva. Jiva shows lot of similarity with Chaitanya. How Jiva is also emerging from that Chaitanya that is shown. Nimittantara anapekshat, without the need for any other nimitta, without the need for any other cause. Yathokta lakshanat, from whatever was indicated in the previous mantra. Yatha ukta lakshanat means just now what we indicated in sixth mantra. Aksharat sambhavati. From that akshara, this creation is possible. Sambhavati means it emerges, but just for the sake of understanding, you can say it is possible that whatever limitations you point out, that is not true. It is possible that this Jagat has emerged from Chaitanya. But Sambhavati here is used in the sense of it originates from Akshara. It is not a question that is asked. That's why Shankaracharya says Samutpadyate. Very well, this universe has emerged from Akshara alone. So Sambhavati, don't make it as a question. We don't know whether it has emerged. Possibly it has emerged, not in that way. One thing to note here is, whenever it is said creation has emerged from Akshara, we should always add one more upadhi there, which is Maya. Akshara plus Maya, from that, Srishti is possible. As far as Akshara is concerned, in Akshara, there is no Srishti. In Akshara, there is no Srishti. But when Maya Upadhi is added to it, from that, it becomes Jagat Karana. There is no other Karanam. Other than Akshara, there is no other Karanam. But how did that Akshara Tattva, which is unchanging, become the cause of this changing world? This is with the support of Upadhi, with the support of conditioning called as Maya. Jehi Srushti Upayi Tribida Banayi Sanga Sahayana Duja. Devatas pray to Bhagwan Rama, Jehi Srushti Upayi Trivida Banayi. You are the one who created this universe without the need of any instrument. Sanga Sahayana Duja. So to kill Ravana, you don't have to take bow and arrow. You are the one who has created him. You can destroy him anytime with your sankalpa. But Bhagwan says, no, I will not do that. I will take avatara. I will come, do my leelas, so that our mind can get uplifted. Then I will accomplish things in this Srishti. Iha samsara mandale vishwam samastam jagat samutpadyate. This whole universe which is there, that has emerged from this akshara. Aneka drishtanta upadanam tu sukhartha prabodhanartham. Bhagwan Shankaracharya reminds us, always remember the main pramana is Upanishad. Upanishad need not give examples, it need not give logic. I mean, just look at it this way. If eyes are telling this color is yellow, eyes are telling this color is white. Now, can you demand logic from eyes? That tell me why this color is white. But let us say, out of compassion, you give the logical answer. There is light which is coming, it is getting reflected there, certain colors are absorbed there. Whatever is not absorbed, I'm seeing as white. You see, that is the karuna of that person. He did not give logic because pramana for rupa is chakshurendriya. Pramana for form is our eyes. And wherever pramana is involved, nothing else is needed. Pramana will give knowledge as it is. We don't need anything else to support that pramana. We can use other pramanas to strengthen our main pramana. What eyes are telling, you can establish it through logic. Like that, whatever Upanishads are telling in terms of what is the origin of creation, that I can establish through logic. This we have to think on our own. That creation has emerged from Chaitanya, which pramana will tell me? Can Pratyaksha tell me? Pratyaksha will only tell what is in front of my eyes. What happened at the origin of creation, eyes will not tell. Can inference tell me? Inference works on top of pratyaksha. Inference works on top of direct perception. If direct perception itself is not there, data is not there for inference. All other pramanas which are there, they are having lot of dependence on direct perception. If that is not there, data is not there. Data is not there, we cannot collect or we cannot develop our inference. Upamana pramana can you give? You can give upamana pramana as far as it is in line with Upanishads. So Srishti Prakriya, the example is given of deep sleep. That is upamana pramana. You are giving example of deep sleep to illustrate how creation happens. How a person goes into deep sleep and comes out from that deep sleep. Like that, this universe goes into pralaya avastha and comes out from that pralaya avastha. Next verse, you will see this more in detail. But main point is, upamana pramana by itself cannot tell the origin of creation is Akshara Tattva. The only pramana which tells us is Upanishad pramana. On top of that, we can use logic. But we should always remember the applied side of it. Srishti is there in front of me. But looking at that Srishti, I should remember this Rashta. Looking at that creation, I should remember the creator and the material of creation, which is nothing but Bhagavan. That is why in other darshanas, they say Srishti is Madhuram. Srishtir Madhura. Why is it Madhuram? Because it is Bhagavan Krishna. It is not something different from him. He alone has become this universe. That is why that Srishti is Madhuram. Next mantra, we will start not next week, but the week after. Okay, next week we won't have classes, Tuesday, Thursday. Swamiji will be here, Swami Shantananji, and we'll have Akhanda Bhagavad Gita discourses in San Ramon. So I hope all of us will make it a point to attend all the days. Find some friend nearby area, if you can stay with them. If not, some other way by which we can make sure that we attend it. In particular, note 10th, 11th chapter, Bhagavad Gita. There will find lot of echoes of creation and its connection with devotion. In Bhagavad Gita, Ekarupa Bhakti is not emphasized much. That is in Ramayana, in Bhagavatam, form of the Lord is emphasized. In Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan's main teaching of bhakti is, I alone appear as his creation. In that creation, I have some vibhutis. Himalaya is there, sun is there. I have some vibhutis in which I express. Holding on to that vibhuti, person can meditate upon God. Then Arjuna asks, how many vibhutis you have? Bhagavan says, don't worry, this whole creation is me only. But to see creation as me is difficult. So he says, hold on to few things in this creation. So 10th, 11th chapter, the one who understands. 12th chapter he comes, is Bhakti Yoga. Okay, so next week, no classes. No class for our weekday. Wednesday class also will not be there. Sanskritam class is also not there. Tuesday through Sunday, no classes. Okay, Swamiji's yajna, we all will attend. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. There is one question here. Where does Maya come from? Next verse will answer that. Okay, so hold on. Hari Om everyone.